Good evening, everybody. Welcome in as we present another all-new edition of the Milford Informer. I am your host, Tim Coet. We have another jam-packed show for you this week as we bring you details on a major upcoming event in town. We also have a special report from Milford TV intern Jake Martin, and we will have some big-time softball highlights later on as well. But first, let's kick things off with a more in-depth look at tonight's show in our top stories rundown. Tonight, we sit down with event organizers for Celebrate Milford to find out all of the details on this exciting second annual event. Also tonight, learn about young Milford resident Haley Avila and how she's building a professional business resume before she's even graduated from college. And later in sports, we have must-see highlights as Milford softball took on defending state champion King Philip in a showdown of powerhouse programs. We are just a few weeks away from the much-anticipated second annual Celebrate Milford. The event debuted last year to rave reviews from the community, and this week I was happy to be joined by a pair of event organizers who provided some insight into this year's festivities. And we're very happy to be joined on the Milford Informer this week by two committee members for Celebrate for Milford, an exciting event that's coming up in just a couple of weeks here in town, the second annual Celebrate Milford. And we're very happy to be joined by Terenzio Volpicelli and Joe Soares as well. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it.
So obviously, the second annual event, you guys kicked this off last May, and by all accounts, it was an absolute grand slam home run of an event. Just talk a little bit about what went into planning last year's event and just the success that you guys experienced putting it on.
Sure. Well, thanks for having us. Appreciate it. Yeah, last year was a great success. It took a lot of planning from a lot of different people, especially our board members. Did a tremendous job in helping us plan a great event last year. So it was such a success that we decided to make it an annual thing, an annual event. Going back before last year, again, Milford really didn't have a town event like this, and I had been to other town events, and I thought that's something that Milford should have, and the committee felt the same way, and so we put it together, and everything's been going really good so far. So hopefully we'll have another great event this year, we expect to.
And Terenzio, the community reaction last year was just tremendous, and being at the event for a good portion of the day myself, it just seemed like it was nonstop people throughout the day. So I'm sure the reaction community-wise was maybe even better than you guys could have hoped.
We've had a spectacular reception for this event by the community, particularly the neighbors that are located around it who are the most affected by the community. We've recently met with the Board of Selectmen. They were thrilled that we were kicking this off for a second straight year. So I think the community really received this very well. I was looking forward to another great year. Of course, I'm guaranteeing perfect weather once again this year. So if we get it, you can thank me.
Well, certainly the weather was ideal last year. I know everyone is hoping for the same thing this year, so we don't want to bury the lead, obviously. So Celebrate Milford this year, the second annual event, will take place on Saturday, May 20th from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. all around Town Park. And some of the real highlights of the event last year, a lot of great live music throughout the day. The beer garden, I know, was a great success, the kids' play area as well. And so I know all of those things are going to be staples of the event this year. Can you talk a little bit about the particulars for some of what the community can expect?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, those things you mentioned will still be there. And the Kid Zone was, as you mentioned, a great success as well. We've expanded the Kid Zone this year. We actually moved it was at the softball field, if you recall. So we're moving that to the big diamond, big baseball field diamond. And we've added some more inflatables and jumpies. So those we'll have more of that this year because that was a big success. And then also within the Kid Zone, we're adding some other activities. There'll be a clown there, which there was last year as well. And we actually met this morning, and we're and last minute here putting some other stuff in there too. So there'll be a surprise for the kids in that area. So because we want to make that very attractive for the kids. So basically for $5, you get all that stuff that's in there. So it's actually a good deal too. Besides that, Touch a Truck, we're going to move that to a closer location as well, and we're expecting that to be to get some nice success as well with that too.
And the youth organizations were a big part of the event last year in Terenzio. I know that's going to be the case this year. The kids kicking things off once again for the event with a parade in the morning?
Yeah, we'll be starting a parade at 10 a.m. It is a short parade, so it's actually, it works out really nicely for youth organizations. We've got a commitment from a number of youth organizations. We have a couple marching bands to help us out. Accent Limousine is our Grand Marshal sponsor for the parade, and it will conclude right about where the bandstand is, which is right where the Touch a Truck is going to be located. So we've had a great response. We've also had a number of the high school sporting teams that will be assisting in the kids zone. I think the football team is going to be doing their version of punt, pass, and kick, and there'll be again a number of youth organizations to make the day even more special.
It seems like it's such a perfect event to give really everybody a chance to come out and enjoy something. So much for the kids, so much for families and adults and young adults to enjoy at this event. There's really something for everybody throughout the day.
Well, that's the whole idea of it, is really making attractive to all age groups. You know what I mean? And having different things that people, having a lot of food vendors there, the live music, the stuff for the kids, bringing families together for just a good day in the park. The other thing I want to mention too is after the success of last year's event, we actually formed a nonprofit. So we now are an official 501c3 organization, and any profit from the event that we make will be reinvested back into the community. Specifically, what we're earmarking it now for is the schools in and around the town park area. So the Memorial School Playground Project is one initiative we have. We already just actually made a donation yesterday to that, a $1,500 donation to them yesterday, and we expect to make more after the event. So that's something that we wanted to do, and so we were able to put that in place. So that's good news. Yeah,
that's tremendous. That's a lot of great money going towards some very worthy causes around town. There's no question about that. And just taking a look at an event like this, such a huge scale event, obviously you guys have been working tirelessly throughout the last months to put this together. What is the group behind the scenes? How many people have you had involved really in almost a day-to-day basis putting this together?
Yeah, so we have 9 board members, I believe, correct?
Actually, there's 10 board members that really serve as the core backbone to this operation. We have a number of folks that will be helping us out on the volunteer level. In fact, Big Y Markets, World Class Markets, has graciously provided a significant number of their employees for that day, which is really giving our volunteering organization a big boost.
Yeah, they've been very helpful, and so one of the things that we need to have for this thing to go smoothly is volunteers. People volunteering their time at this type of an event. And last year we had that, and we're getting that this year, but we're still looking for more volunteers. So, if there's anyone out there listening, we could use help. I would invite you to go to our webpage, celebratemilford.com. And there's a sign-up genius right there. It's very easy, user-friendly. You can sign up for what tasks you want to do and what times you'll be available to help out with those tasks. So that would be a huge help for us because, like he said, without the volunteers, it's not a success.
And the amount of volunteers you had last year was tremendous, and it takes a lot of work, there's no question about it, to put on an event like this, and as you said, just a very simple process. So you can head over to celebratemilford.com, you can find the volunteers tab there, and all of the information, very self-explanatory. You can also find out all of the other information about the event, all of the specifics, all of the great sponsors. I know there are a lot of local businesses here in Milford that have been helping you guys out as well, so all of that information is available by heading over to celebratemilford.com. And so again, Saturday, May 20th, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. I know we don't even want to bring the possibility of bad weather into the equation, but you do have a rain date of Sunday the 21st, but hopefully we won't even need to worry about that again. Just it was perfect weather last year, and hopefully we'll have the same this year. So really an exciting event. Any other information that you gentlemen want to get out there?
I don't think so. Just come out, please, that day, and and enjoy the day. Enjoy the stuff we have for everyone to do. You know, we hope to see everyone out there that day, and the more the merrier.
Well, it is an absolutely terrific event. Celebrate Milford, now the second annual Celebrate Milford, again taking place on Saturday, May the 20th from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. all around Town Park. A lot of terrific stuff for the entire family to enjoy. So again, Terenzio Volpicelli, Joe Soares, committee members for Celebrate for Milford, thank you so much. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
During this 2016-17 school year, Milford TV has been pleased to have the services of Hopedale High School senior Jake Martin as one of our interns. Jake has worked extremely hard developing his skills in camera work, studio operations, editing, and interviewing. Jake has contributed a series of news pieces for the Milford Informer over the last year as well, and this week Jake steps in front of the camera as he met with young Milford resident Haley Avila to discuss a unique business opportunity Haley is bringing to her hometown.
So going to high school, did you know that you eventually wanted to go into business? Did you know that that was kind of where you were headed?
No, I originally wanted to do marine biology, actually,
Oh, wow. So
believe it or
completely,
not.
yeah.
But I like to work with people, so I was talking to my advisor, and I was in the school for science, the Natural Science College. And I was talking to her. I didn't want to do research, and I didn't want to be a teacher. I didn't want to go to med school, all that stuff. But I like to work with people. I like to work outside. I like to do hands-on things. And so I explained to her. We had a talk, and we just talked about all the different stuff that I kind of like. And she recommended a hospitality and tourism management major for me. And she kind of told me about it, and I thought about it, but I wasn't in the business school. So I applied into the business school, Eisenberg at UMass, and I got in.
So then after going into the business program, you got involved with the Young Entrepreneurs Across America program.
Yes.
So how did you come across them? Like how was that opportunity?
So they're actually based out of Michigan. So their executives came and they passed a sign-up sheet around the room, and I read it, and it was like, oh, do you want to run your own business? And like I had all these different bullet points, and I was like, this might be the opportunity that I've been looking for. So I signed my name on the sheet, I left my phone number, I gave them an email, and then they called me later, and I wasn't too sure about it, but they gave me a call. They kind of explained more to me, and I was super interested. I talked to some people that had done the program before, and then we had a series of 3 interviews. The first interview was on the phone with who's my executive now. Her name is Cammie. She kind of explained it to me and then got to know me a little bit better to see if I was going to be the right fit for the type of person they were looking for this business. Because you have to have a certain type of personality and drive and stuff like that, because it is a lot of hard work. So she talked to me and she passed me on to the second round. And then the second round is kind of you more explaining like what you're going to do for the business and them trying to help you kind of think of how you're going to go about it. And then if you pass that, you have to make a business plan. So they asked me to make a business plan in one day, and I didn't even know what a business plan was, so I did that, and then I had, it's kind of like a Skype interview with the VP of our company. His name's Aaron Acorn, and I had to present that business plan to him and another executive, and then that was the final interview. So I was actually hired on the spot in that interview.
Wow,
and then, we had classes after that, and you got to know more people in the business, and here we are.
Wow. So you passed all three levels of that interview. So it's pretty selective. Do you know how many people like applied to it, and then how many were?
They said they interviewed over 40 people, and we have 11 branch managers at UMass.
What do you do exactly? So you it's painting, right? So you go to
Yes. So we do. It's an exterior painting business, and what I do is I do all the other stuff. I do the marketing, I do the recruiting, and then what I do differently that everybody's going to have the same resume as me, except they're not going to have sales. So they get all the same experience. So what I do is I go to homeowners and I give them free estimates. We went through extensive training with the program to learn how to do all this and do the estimates and all that stuff. So you give them the free estimate, you write up the quote for them, and then you sign with them, and then you work with them over the summer. So I handle all that. And then it's really, you work as a team for the rest of it.
So now you are a branch manager, so that means, what does that mean exactly? That's like your position, right?
Yeah, that's my position.
Okay.
I run the business. I work with the company to hire my own employees. So I hire high school and local college students. that are trying to make money over the summer. They're trying to work hard and really build their resumes and have that drive to work hard. I also hire college or high school students during the week. They go out and they do marketing, so I'm providing jobs for a bunch of local students, which is really good because I'm paying for college entirely by myself, and I know how hard that can be. So it really feels good to give people the opportunity to be able to save some money and build their resumes as well and get some good experience in the field.
And then, are you actually involved in the painting of people's houses,
Yep.
or are you just so you're like hands-on?
Yeah, so
type of thing?
I'll mostly be doing the estimates and selling over the summer and working with the homeowners, but I will be on the jobs as well. I'll start my crew in the mornings. I'll work with them, and if they ever need help, I'll always go there. I'm trained as well to do all the painting. In the first week when we're paint training everybody, I'll be there the whole time to make sure that everybody's the right fit for our crew, so we're doing the best job on everyone's house.
How do you go about like acquiring your paint? Like, what kind of materials are you using?
So we are partners with Sherwin-Williams. We've been partners with them since we've been in the business. We've been in business for 31 years, and they come out and they train all our crews. We get all our supplies from them. We have people we work with all the time. If we ever have questions, they always give us advice, and they're always super helpful. So we use Sherwin-Williams.
So you had said that that when you originally thought about starting a business, it was really intimidating. Like you could never see yourself doing that. Are you still intimidated? Like, or do you think you're a little more comfortable with the idea of yourself running a business?
So I think telling any 19, 20-year-old person that they're going to run a $100,000 business, that they can do that, is a little intimidating.
Sure.
Now that I've actually gone out and done it, had the training, met with the people that have done it before, and started to actually run the business, it's not as intimidating anymore. I mean, I know how to do everything, so I'm a lot more comfortable. I mean, it's a learning experience. I learn how to do everything more, and I learn how to get more experience with all that every single day when I'm going out and doing it.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier when you're actually doing it instead of just hearing about it. So that is one thing that I would definitely tell people. Don't be intimidated and not try it just because it sounds like a lot. Just try it, and sometimes you might find out that it really works for you.
I liked how you said it's, when people are looking at a business, it's not what you do, but it's why you do it.
Right.
So why are you doing this business? What's your why,
Our executives really pushed our whys, so I'm really doing it to prove to myself that I can do it. And just try to really better myself. And I also wanted to donate back to the Best Buddies organization, so I'm donating a % of my profit back to them at the end of the summer, because I wanted to make sure that they still have the funding to do all these fun things, like do the dances and go on the whale watches, and if they needed new uniforms for unified track, stuff like that. So it also is just to give back to everything that's helped to shape me into who I am.
Is it difficult balancing your business with college? That's got to be crazy, taking all your classes and running a business.
Yeah, I've definitely had a lot of time management, not problems so far, but I've definitely learned how to do more time management, especially when I'm managing my school schedule, my work schedule, and then I actually have 7 marketers hired right now working under me, so I manage their school schedules. I have to know when they all have after-school activities, which I know about, so I work around that for them, planning their work schedules, so it's a lot of different scheduling, but it works out. I keep in contact with them all the time. That's one of our biggest things, is we really like to have contact. So if anybody ever needs to get in touch with us, we're going to get back to them right away. So right now, I am in college, so if anybody calls me while I'm in class, I make sure to call them back as soon as I get out of class and have a moment. But it was a little bit difficult at first to manage it all at once, but I figured it out. I don't have class on Fridays, so I come home on Thursday nights, and I'll usually Thursday nights I'll do some homework and get everything straightened out.
So where do you see yourself after college? Where do you see yourself going after college?
The year after college, I'm actually minoring in Spanish, so I want to go to Spain for a year. We have a program that you can go there and you can teach English, so I want to do that. I really like to travel. And then I'm not really sure after that. I wanna work in event planning with big firms or company. I want to work with them to manage all that stuff. So I'm getting my management experience here.
Yeah.
So I'll see where I go.
So how can people get in touch with you if they want their house to be painted?
Great. So we have a website. It's www.studentpainters.biz, or you can call me directly. My phone number is 508-282-7025.
All right, Haley. Well, thanks for coming on. It's been great. It's good to learn about it. I didn't even know that this program existed. So if anyone is interested in getting their houses painted, definitely talk to Haley.
As promised, we will get to those softball highlights in just a moment. First, let's get a quick update on the Milford baseball team. The boys have found themselves in an up and down portion of their schedule. Let's take a quick look at some of the recent action for the Scarlet Hawks. Last Friday, the team took on one of their biggest rivals in Oliver Ames. Senior captain Alex Masick got the start for the Hawks, and once again he brought his A game to the mound. Masick notched 5 strikeouts over the first 4 innings. With 2 outs in the 4th, Alex induced what appeared to be an inning-ending pop-up, but center fielder Ryan Gonsalves couldn't make the catch, and that allowed a run to score to give the Tigers a 1-0 lead. The Milford Bats would try to respond in the bottom half of the inning. With the bases loaded and 1 out, sophomore Alex Cody would connect on a line drive single to bring the tying run to the plate. Milford would fail to score any additional runs in the inning, however, keeping it at a 1-1 score. It would remain tied until the top of the 6th, when a passed ball would allow Oway to bring the go-ahead run to the plate, making it a 2-1 game. Milford would be unable to mount a comeback, so despite a solid complete game effort from Masick, Milford would lose to Oliver Ames by a final score of 2-1. Things did not go any better for the Hawks in their next home game on Wednesday against the Mansfield Hornets. Senior Nate Irwin would receive the tall task of facing a Hornets lineup that had been lethal in their recent games. Mansfield wasted no time getting their offense rolling. Hornets captain Zach Peterson would connect on a 2-run double in the top of the 1st to give his team an early lead. Mansfield would hang a 3-spot on the scoreboard in each of the next 3 innings, highlighted by a pair of 2-run singles by designated hitter Colin Gibbons. Milford's defense would also be shaky throughout the afternoon, committing a total of 6 errors. The Hawks would go on to suffer a very tough home loss to Mansfield by a final score of 12-4. While Milford has struggled at home over their last 2 weeks, they've gone a perfect 3-for-3 in road games against Sharon, Attleboro, and Taunton, and as a result, they continue to hold on to 2nd place in the Davenport standings with an overall record of 7-5. Now, without further ado, let's get to this week's softball highlights. Milford versus King Philip has been one of the best softball rivalries in the entire state over the last decade. Recently, however, the Lady Warriors have seized control of the team's matchups, earning shutout victories over the Lady Hawks in each of the last 3 seasons. Could Milford bring an end to KP's dominant streak? Let's check out the highlights. Milford and King Philip have once again established themselves as favorites to go deep in this year's Division I South bracket of the MIAA tournament. Milford entered action on Friday riding an 11-game winning streak, while the Lady Warriors had won their last 6 straight and were undefeated against Hockomock League competition. This game took on a playoff feel right from the start. With Allie Atherton in the circle for the home team, it would be King Philip who would see the first run-scoring opportunity. With 1 out, Haley McCaslin would drive a single and then steal second to place herself into scoring position, but Atherton would get out of the inning, ending it with a strikeout of designated player Betsy Walsh. Milford would fail to score in their half of the 1st, but would start to put together a rally against KP starter Jen Hutnian in the bottom of the 2nd. Maggie Farrell would open the inning with a single, and then sophomore Emily Hartman would rip a ball down the left field line that would go as a ground rule double, putting 2 in scoring position. Kelly Reichert would step to the plate next, and she would hit a grounder to short that would allow Farrell to score to give Milford their first run against KP since the 2013 season. Shannon Cormier would help tack onto that lead. She would send a slow roller to short, and Shannon would beat the throw to first as Hartman crossed the plate to make it 2-0 Hawks. Meanwhile, Atherton would keep the powerful KP bats in check through the middle innings. Nicole Carter would notch her 2nd hit against Atherton to lead off the top of the 5th and would eventually advance to 3rd, but Allie would strike out Haley McCaslin for the final out of the inning, keeping KP off the scoreboard. The Hawks would add to their lead in the 5th. With 2 on and 1 out, senior captain Caitlin DeCapua would single, bringing in a run to give Milford a 3-run cushion. As the game moved to the 6th, the Lady Warriors would see their best chance for a rally come together, thanks in part to a couple of shaky defensive plays. Milford would see back-to-back errors at short and in the pitcher's circle, leading to a no-out bases-loaded opportunity for King Philip. Jess Bonner was next to the plate, and she'd connect on a line drive to left. 1 run would come in to score, but a terrific relay from Farrell to Pierre Gustavo to Hartman would cut down a potential 2nd run at the plate. Milford's defense would continue to round right back into form on the next play. Brooke Toddy would send a hard grounder to third where Caitlin DeCapua would quickly field and fire to the plate, getting another out at home. Moments later, Toddy would attempt to steal second base, but Hartman would deliver a strike to second to get the out, and King Philip would run their way out of the inning with Milford still in front 3-1. In the bottom of the inning, Milford would look to bring in some late inning insurance. The bottom of the order bats would jumpstart the rally with a double from Maddie Bonvino and a single by Shannon Cormier. Kate Irwin would then drop down a beauty of a bunt that would go as an RBI base hit to make it 4-1. Jess Tomaso and Caitlin DeCapua would follow up with RBIs, pushing Milford in front by a score of 6-1 heading to the 7th. But King Philip would then show the Milford crowd the grittiness that earned them a state title in 2016 as they headed to the plate for their half of the 7th. Nicole Carter would reach base for the third time in the game to lead off the inning. After the number 9 hitter was retired, Atherton would struggle with the top of the order bats. Megan Gorman would reach on a single before McCaslin and Hutnian would team up on back-to-back RBI hits, cutting Milford's lead to 3 while bringing the tying run to the plate with only 1 out. The next batter, Betsy Walsh, would put on a lengthy at-bat before hitting a sharp grounder to the circle. Atherton would get the out at first, and then courtesy runner Marjorie Guerrero would get caught taking a wide turn around second base. A heads-up play by Tomaso and a tag applied by Bonvino would finish off what turned out to be a bizarre 1-3-4 double play to end the game. Milford would end a 3-year losing skid to KP while issuing the defending champs their first league loss of the season. Milford takes the game by a final score of 6-3. We want to remind everyone one last time that coming up on Saturday, the MHS class of 2019 will be holding a live and silent auction fundraiser. The live and silent auction features some terrific prizes that will be auctioned off and will also be awarded as raffle prizes. Some of those items include a weekend house rental on Cape Cod, tickets to a Red Sox game with a parking pass, gift cards to local restaurants, and much more. All funds raised at the event will help the class of 2019 fund their major junior and senior events, including prom and yearbooks. The live and silent auction is taking place on Saturday, May 6th at the Hoboken Club, beginning at 7 p.m. Tickets are $10 per person and will be sold at the door. Coming up next Friday, the group Thanks to Yanks will be hosting their 3rd annual comedy night. The event will be hosted by Adam Webster and will also feature the comedy magic of Steve Charette, as well as an appearance by comedian Jim Bishop. The night will also include raffle prizes and a cash bar. The 3rd annual comedy night will take place on Friday, May 12th at Scioli's from 6 to 10 p.m. Tickets are $20 at the door. For more information, you can send an email to info@thankstoyanks.org. With the spring sports season reaching a critical stage, we hope to bring you as much baseball and softball coverage as possible in the week to come. Weather permitting, we hope to have highlights from both teams on next week's show. We'll also have a report on a recent Special Olympics event that was held inside the Milford High School football field. We look forward to bringing those stories to you next week. Until then, from all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coette saying have a great week. So long, everybody.